My name's David Haze, I'm 36 years old and I'm from Bournemouth. The way I ended up in prison, I used to be a Forex broker in the City of London, and I got too big for my boots there. I ended up losing my job, and instead of being honest and open with people, I tried to keep it hidden away. I ended up turning to gambling, I ended up turning to drugs, gambling to try and make some more money. I ended up turning to drugs, and my life just spiraled out of control. And when I moved some stolen goods and I was meant to go to court, and instead of going to court I disappeared for 5 weeks. And in those 5 weeks I was just lost, I was broken, and I turned to burglary as a sort of a way to survive, which I don't condone any at all, but that's how I ended up going to prison. It was the most horrendous thing ever. I just broke down. It was worse seeing your family there, knowing that you're not going to be away from them for about 1.5 years. And it's also some of the victims are in court, and it's hearing the stories, and you sort of, when it happens, you don't take that into consideration. You try and block it out because it's what I did. But I remember just being in tears from court all the way to the prison when I was on the bus, and I just remember that moment I got off. I had to wipe away those tears just to say to myself, man up, it's time to do your time, get into prison and get through this. Recently done a project with the inspectors of probation, and we did it around mental health, and all it came down to was to treat people as individuals, see them as a human, and just respect them like that. If that sort of support was in the criminal justice system, there'd be a huge difference. A lot of individuals have never been shown respect, and that's why they sort of re-offend so many times. That's all it takes. I think the number one was being away from my family and friends, having my freedom, and I think that's where the punishment should stop. What happens then is they need the more support, they need to offer more skills, and just to try and get you through the day-to-day. I think prison could be such a great place for opportunities, to give people more life skills, and that's something that I tried to do whilst I was in prison. So when I came out of prison, a lot of people do have this image of a prisoner. And don't get me wrong, I have lost friends through my actions and my time in prison. But in all honesty, I haven't had too much negativity thrown at myself. And that's why I try to do what I do now. I try to change perspectives on people like myself by putting myself out there, sharing my story and what I'm doing. I find a lot of people, when they see me, don't think that I've been to prison, especially for the crime that I committed, which is burglary. So I want to put myself out there and just try and change those perspectives, so as a community we can try and support more people like myself live a much more meaningful life. So I work for a company called Penal Reform Solutions, who they're all about creating these rehab cultures in prisons. So my boss, who I actually met in HMP Guy's Marsh, Dr. Sarah Lewis, she went over to Scandinavia, to Norway in fact, to see what they do, because their reoffending rate is about 20%, where ours over here is about 75%. So she's gone to try and copy the model of what they do in the prisons, and then bring it back over to the UK. And when I just saw her, I knew instantly that I had to get involved. I had to try and make lives better for the people inside, people outside, and that's the work I'm doing now. So come next year, I'll be working around people who've done life sentences, trying to hear their story, put a report together, and I'm also going into some schools to talk to young people who may be sort of struggling with mainstream education, just to share my story and help them choose a better path in life. For me, as growing up, I always loved adventure, and I realised in my second prison sentence that something major in my life was losing that sense of adventure. So I made a vow to myself to come out and live through adventure. So my personal motto in life is through adventure we live, and I try and live by that every day. My hopes and dreams, I want to continue paddleboarding, I want to continue pushing my message out there. A lot I do, I mentioned before, was raise awareness around reform, rehabilitation. I want to prove to others that our mistakes don't define who we are, our past don't define who we are. we can achieve anything we want to in life. We're the only ones that control our destiny. And that's what I'm trying to show. And I also want to show the power of adventure. So after, if I can't continue paddleboarding, I want to show others what I've learned, try and help people that are going down the wrong path in life, and show them a form of adventure therapy, and just help young people as well. That's something that is really of interest to me. I would like people to ask me how they can help change the way for other people like myself. What can they do to support those that have come out of prison? Can they offer them a job? Can they offer them somewhere to live? I think more people just need to be educated, and that's what I would like to try and help people do. So I'm always happy for anybody to come and talk to me, because a lot of people don't know much about prison. So when I go and put myself out there, I'm happy to talk to anybody. I share the stories, the experiences, so people get a better understanding and realising that the system is broken and we need to fix it. So future plans I've got next few months, I'm off to Iceland to paddleboard their longest lake. I'm working with another company to go and do Loch Ness, but then I've got a big one. I've just got funding to go and paddleboard across Europe. So the plan is to paddleboard 33 lakes in 33 countries across Europe to attempt 33 world records in 66 days. It's something that's going to be huge, it's going to test me, it's going to push me, but this is why I do these adventures, and I'm going to continue to raise money for my charities and share my message. Considering that it hasn't even been 2 years, and 2 years ago I was sitting in a 6x4 prison cell. I now have 6 world records, an ambassador for this charity, and I'm trying to make lives better for people in the system that I've come from, which is amazing. My name's David Haze, and this is my voice.